So this year, 2019, in the Les Paul Tribute double cut, sorry, start that again, Les Paul Jr. Tribute double cut, I have bought a 2019 version of it, and I'm about to review that now for you. So as you see, it comes in a very, very thickly padded Gibson case, which is actually, that's pretty, I've had one of these before for one of my other guitars, but to be honest with you, they are pretty solid, unless you are sort of throwing it around and chucking it in the back of a tour bus or something, or a tour van or whatever. You're not going to want anything much more than this. So, what have we got? So, this is the 2019 Les Paul Jr. double cut. If I put that in your camera, you can see it. Let's get all this crap out of the way. I don't understand, I'm in the middle of moving a load of stuff at the minute. So, what do we get for that? So, looking at the spec sheet, which is here, this is a mahogany body with a maple neck. It's got no weight relief, but it's actually a pretty light guitar. It's a slim taper neck, as you can see. It's pretty slim, and I got it in worn cherry, so I'll come to that in a minute, because the finish is probably one of the things that you'll either love it or loathe it, I think. It has a rosewood fingerboard. Now I'm assuming to comply with the CITES regulations in Europe, it's probably not that form of rosewood that is allegedly restricted now. Comes with a Tectoid nut, and it looks to be pretty well cut, I think. The frets are absolutely perfect. I'm running my finger along there, there's no sprouting frets. And have a look at that neck, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so what do we get for this Les Paul Jr. tribute? Right, one thing that has divided opinion is this scratch plate, because what they've done this year, if you look on the back of it, there's no routing at the back for access to all the controls and things like that. So clearly it's mounted on the scratch plate at the moment. You know, it's divided opinion because it doesn't look pretty if you're going to compare it to previous years Les Paul Juniors. I personally quite like it, but that's because I've been dying to get one of these for years. So let's turn to the finish. Now, it's allegedly let me just check. It's nitrocellulose satin finish. Let's just check that. There, where is it? With acrylic dots in the neck. It's compensated wraparound bridge, so that's why you see the kind of lightning effect across there as it compensates for it. But let me just find out about the finish. Doesn't say, actually, to be fair. I did read somewhere else that it was nitrocellulose finish, but anyway. What else? Okay, the controls are the top hat type of controls. And another thing which has kind of divided opinion are these tuners, the little white button tuners, which I think actually look quite nice. They're quite vintage looking. Looking on the back of the neck, no robo tuners, thankfully. So that remains for me to talk about the finish. The finish of this is it looks very like an open pore sort of, the wood looks very open pore. I was a bit kind of like, that looks a bit like someone hasn't bothered to sand it and it looks a bit rough, but actually I quite like the whole principle of the Les Paul Jr. is that it is like a stripped down, rough and ready rock and roll machine. And so yeah, on balance I quite like it actually. So aside from the scratch plate, which some people don't like, and the tuners, which some people don't like, I quite like it. The only issue I've had with this so far, I've had it about a week, is that when it came, the volume and tone knobs were slightly loose, and I had to tighten those, and that was a bit of a pain in the bum. Getting the cellophane off the scratch plate as well, I couldn't get it out without undoing the jack socket. And when I did that, it actually fell inside the body again, but I managed to get that back out again, so that's not a problem. But just be aware, they have cut corners in order to make the electronics sort of quicker and easier to put into the body. It comes with a pretty cheap, rubbishy strap, which, you know, it does the job. It doesn't weigh very much at all, it's actually quite light. And I got one of the first ones that was available in the country. It's been sent out to a few YouTube reviewers, and I actually went out and bought this myself. I'm not promoting any particular company, and they don't promote me. This I got at a sort of pre-order price of £649 from, who's it from? It was from Professional Music Technology, which there is a branch here in Romford, but it wasn't that one. It came from the Bristol branch, which I believe called Dolphin Music, but they're all part of the same group. So, on the face of it, this looks pretty damn good. In a minute, we're going to plug it in and we're going to hear some sounds out of it. Now, as you know, it's one P90. Now, the only other thing I would say about this is I used to have the Les Paul style guitar many years ago that had what we called a dog-eared P90, which is basically where it's got the kind of triangular bits at the end of it. This is mounted directly, I think it's mounted into the scratch plate by the looks of it. So it's not got any kind of routing or anything underneath it. So it might be, if you want to replace this, it's not going to be impossible, but I just think you're probably going to want to leave it alone because it's a pretty good pickup in there anyway. It's just that it's all top mounted. Everything is top mounted on this guitar. No access at the back, as I say. So, okay, leaving it at that, we will come back and we will do some sounds. We like, but we're going to do this just using my shotgun mic and my crappy little Fender Mustang amp at the moment, so let's just see. So this is with the volume and the tone all the way up. Let's now turn some of the tone down. Let's turn it all the way down. So it's a bit distorted there. Okay, let's turn it about halfway. So let's roll all the tone back in, so it's on its most treble setting, and see what it's like rolling off some of the volume. Okay. Okay, so let's try it with some different sounds. So at the moment I've got the treble on halfway up, the bass is on halfway up. There's only treble and bass on this amplifier because it's a fairly basic amplifier. Volume is on 7, the master is on 5, and the gain is on about 3 at the moment. So let's see what it sounds like with some heavily distorted sounds. Putting the gain up. Turn the volume down a bit. So that's starting to drive a little bit. Let's put the master up and let's see what else. Alright, I've got the gain all the way up, master up. I'm going to turn the volume down a bit. Okay, so hopefully you can see there's a variety of sounds there. Now this isn't the best amplifier, I have to say that, so I would prefer to be using one of my other amps, but I can't actually plug them in because they would make too much noise at the moment, amazingly enough, and I have neighbours either side of me. So this is the Gibson 2019 Les Paul Double Cut Junior, or Les Paul Junior Double Cut. Double cut because of the 2 cutaways here. It is exceptionally light, exceptionally simple, and actually exceptionally good.